Good evening and welcome to this very special video. It's a bit to do with the history of Einstein, and it's a trick that actually fooled Albert Einstein. Now, although I recorded a video similar to this about 3 or 4 years ago on the channel, why am I doing it again? Well, at the weekend I picked up this very old book called The Collected Papers of Albert Einstein. Now, it was printed in the late 50s, and the reason I picked it up, one, it was cheap, it was in a market stall selling second-hand books, but what caught my eye when flicking through it was a part in here that talks about when Einstein was fooled by a trick. And I've marked it here, and I just want to read out a part of it, not all of it, but just a part of it. And it says, where is it? During the evening, I was approached by a Mr. Quran, that's Al Quran, who is the great magician, who proceeded to perplex me with coins. And that's quite interesting. The final part of this, as you read further down, is he does this quote, which I think most of you have done when you've walked away from a trick. How did he do that? And it's interesting how Einstein put it, the important thing is not to stop questioning. So here's that trick that fooled Einstein, but using cards instead of coins. You introduce the cards to your spectator and you say, look, I want you to take a small portion of cards, and they take a small portion of cards. You also grab a small portion of cards and you both turn your back on each other, and you're going to silently count how many cards you both took. When I turn back, I make a bold statement. I say, I've got exactly the same as you, but I've got an extra 3 cards. And whatever I have left over will make yours up to 13. So what happens is they deal out the cards they counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards is what they took. I said I had the same as you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, plus an extra 3. 1, 2, 3. And I have enough cards over to make yours up to 13. Well, you chose 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You then say, well, let's do it a different way. I'll tell you what. Grab about a third of the cards and give them to me. So they choose your cards. I'm then going to choose their cards. We both turn our backs once again and count silently the cards. We turn back and I say, I've got exactly the same number of cards as you're holding, plus an extra 4, and enough to make yours up to 13 left over. Once again, they deal out the cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They have 10 cards. I said I had the same as you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Plus an additional 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And enough left over to make yours up to 13. You took 10, 11, 12, 13. For the final time, what you're going to do is ask them to grab about a third of the cards themselves and then split them in half. Once they split them in half, you tell them to get rid of one half they don't want. It's their choice. They're now holding a portion of cards which they proceed to count. You, in the meantime, will take the cards that they dropped and you count. When we turn back, I claim I have the same amount as them again. I have an extra 2 cards, and that I've got enough cards in my hand to make theirs up to 19. They deal the cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They have 11 cards. You have the same as them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I also said I had an extra 2 cards and enough to make theirs up to 19. That's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 cards there. And that is the trick that fooled Albert Einstein. The trick you've just seen is the trick that fooled Einstein. The only reason I refilmed this, because I did do this several years ago on the channel using a bowl full of coins. I just thought it'd be interesting after I picked up this old book and read that section about when he was fooled. I just thought it'd be interesting to do a variation using playing cards. But what makes this different, I know that other people on YouTube have done this before, but I just wanted it because there's 3 parts to it which are slightly different. The first one, how does it work? Well, let's just look at how the actual trick works. Whenever they take the cards, whatever they take, all you do out of the corner of your eye, just see roughly the thickness of the cards, because you need to make sure you take more cards than they have. That's the only part of the trick you've got to remember, is to take more cards than they have. Now I can see I've got more cards than them. What do I do when I turn my back? Well, first of all, I count off a couple of cards that I'm going to have extra. So I would say 1, 2, 3. Then I count what I've got left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I got 13. So I took 3 and I've got 13 left over. So all that I turn around and say is that I've got the same amount as you plus an extra 3, and I'll have enough left over to make 13 of yours. So if we try this, they count 1, 2, 3, 4. They took 5. So I got the same as them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I then said I had an extra 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. And enough to make theirs up to 13. So there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It works every time. If you try it yourself, you can do it with coins, bits of paper, or playing cards. The only thing on the routine was I did it 3 different ways. On the first way, I got them to take a small portion of cards, and then I took more than them. On the second time, I asked them to pick about a third of the cards for me. Now I know that they give me a big chunk. I then pick for them. Now because I know they've given me this big chunk, I make sure that I gave them less than they gave me. So we both gave each other our cards. The third time, I got them to take about a third and then split them in half, and they decide which they keep. Again, you can see how many cards they've got roughly. You say you're going to grab the cards they threw away, actually you take a few more. Remember, you must have more cards than them, and perform the routine again. So remember, the trick is, once you've got more cards than them, you count off a couple of cards. If you know that you haven't got that many cards more than them, don't say I've got 4 more than you, just take off, so I'll say I've got 2 cards more than them. I then count the cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 cards left. I turn around and say I've got the same as you, plus an extra 2, and enough to make 16. So if we count for the final time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I deal down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I said I had 2 extra than them, and enough to make those up to 16. So they've got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Works every time. Practice and enjoy.